2022 Prevention Through Design Workshop. My name is Ed Gibson, and I'm co-chair of this year's conference or workshop along with Dr. David Grau, and I'm a professor here at Arizona State University. I hope you were with us yesterday. I'm going to give a quick overview of what we found out yesterday and give you an introduction of what we're going to talk about today. First of all, this workshop is part of a 5-year Prevention Through Design initiative that's funded by the NIOSH. And the thought process is by having workshops over a 5-year period, we can drive implementation of prevention through design techniques and principles. We can advance the knowledge of what PtD is through academia and industry, and we can promote the instruction of PtD at colleges and universities. Our steering committee is made up of a number of people from both academia and industry, as you can see here on this particular slide. And you'll meet a few of these people today. So let's talk a little bit about day 2 and what we're trying to do today. Our theme this year is Prevention Through Design, a journey from what to how. First couple of years we've talked about the what it is. We're really trying to focus on how to make this happen. We have a number of sponsors this year for this workshop. I'd like to give a shout out to our sponsors, Arizona State University and the Delhi Webb School of Construction, NIOSH, ISSS, CPWR, Center for Construction Research and Training, CSRA, National Academy of Construction, Tollner Consulting, Panduit, Erland, Magrushka Consulting, DPR, and Mortensen. Yesterday, David gave you a tour of the VFair site. I'm not going to play that video again, but just realize that there's a lobby, an auditorium, an exhibition hall, and the agenda for our session. You can interface with those at any time. You can attend the live sessions, and if you have questions, please put that in the Q&A part of the Zoom meeting. You can network with others through the chat. We'll have virtual meet and greet sessions at the end of the day, and you also can get technical help at the information booth for VFairs. So the agenda that we have today is exciting to me. I think we've got a great lineup. First off, we're going to talk about the United Kingdom and the lessons that have been learned there through legislation mandating or requiring the use of prevention through design techniques. And you'll hear a lot about that from our speakers at the beginning. Then session 2, we're going to give a case study, or we have participants giving a case study on hazard recognition and using prevention through design techniques on one of the largest observatories ever built on the planet. And then they'll come back in as a panel, and you can ask them questions about how they did this and what their problems were and so on and so forth. Session 3, I think you're going to find to be very good as well. Mortensen company is going to talk through how they went towards zero and give a case study of that by using, in many cases, techniques in the design phase to make sure that that is done effectively. And then we'll have a panel after that with TJ Lyons being a moderator. And then I'll wrap things up today. If you'll notice, down around noon, local time here in Phoenix, we'll have a virtual speaker rooms meet and greet with moderators for that as well. So again, the structure: session 1, session 2, session 3, with networking breaks in between so that you can actually interface with some of your colleagues in virtual space, and then our virtual speaker room with moderators. So that's kind of the layout for this morning. And what I'd like to do is tell you that you can get continuing education units for this class. They're awarded during the live sessions. We'll measure participation with Zoom polls. I think we have a practice poll that we're going to work on here, about 3 of these polls per session. And And if you respond to these, then we know that you're listening and participating in the session as you go. If you're not interested in CEU credit, just ignore them, or you can still fill them out as we go forward. So that's what that's all about. After the workshop, all the sessions today and yesterday will be recorded. So if you missed yesterday, you still have an opportunity to watch everything. And these sessions will be recorded and provided for another month on the VFair site using the same login credentials that you have. And then you can request CEUs via email from us, and we'll make sure that those get sent out to you. So let me summarize a little bit about yesterday. We talked about data and data supporting prevention through design. Some of the things that we heard were that the idea that construction experience or field experience influences the ability to recognize hazards during the design phase. Not all hazards are recognizable during the design phase, and certainly if we set a stable environment through good early front-end planning, focusing on hazards even at the earliest phases of the project, then we will see better safety performance as we move forward. We talked about exoskeletons and wearables, and the idea that we would, as we go through and look at what is needed on the construction site, certainly body form, fatigue, fitness, the forces that we're dealing with and the environment all play a part in injuries to our workers. Exoskeletons are not for everything, but they do promise to improve quality work. I think the biggest thing I got out of it is they prevent fatigue. They can help with quality, and hopefully they can extend the life of our workforce so that people don't just get beat up so bad they get out of the construction industry. They're both passive and active exoskeletons, so passive things, just using general springs and things like that, can provide a lot of assist to workers in repetitive tasks. There are challenges. They don't do everything. We have to really look at how we're going to employ them, and we have to look at the design principles that we want to look at. And I think the idea of wearables and smartwatches and the idea that we can actually perhaps redesign the work site and help train workers to work in a better manner, those were really neat things that came out of that as well. We spent some time talking about BIM as it's applied to prevention through design. There's a lot of opportunity here, and I think you'll hear some more of that today in the sessions. We have the ability to not only have our systems help us identify potential hazards and try to design around them, but also to simulate the environment and to interface with our workforce, and so that potentially they can help in more of a manner than they have in the past in helping us prevent injuries and illnesses.